Hello, my cup fillers, and welcome back to the Can I Get a Refill podcast for a very special festive Christmas episode. Just myself, solo episode today. Planning on it being a short one, but who knows? I love Christmas, so I could rant on and on. This is also probably going to be this is definitely going to be the last solo episode before Christmas. So I wanted to come on here and talk to you directly before Christmas. So we'll have 2 more guest interview episodes, and then I plan on taking a week off for Christmas. So the 23rd will be no episode purely because I don't want to be on socials for the whole week. I want to be present. I think you should be present. And then I'll pop back in on the 30th of December for a tying up the year that was solo episode. So I just have to share with you, aside from Christmas, something super wonderful for me. So I don't know if you know this, but I don't record episodes when Mercury is in retrograde. That is known to cause technical issues, communication issues. So I will never book guest interviews, but I'll squeeze in solo episodes because if something goes wrong, I can just re-record it. I've had, not just for Mercury in retrograde, I've had months of issues that have stressed me out so much. I have lost sleep. I was recording off my laptop. This is when I started doing guest interviews on an online platform, Riverside FM. And the audio was crisp and beautiful, like hopefully what you're hearing today. But the video was lagging because my laptop doesn't have, enough data or the internet. And then I started using my husband's computer. He's a gamer, so he can handle more internet. And the video was better because if there's a lag and there's a delay in the conversation, it ruins the whole conversation because I'm talking over people. The video was better, but the audio was so muffled and distant on my end. So it is just, I can't tell you how much it has just upset me. I put so much effort into these episodes, and I hate technical issues. I'm not a technical person. We just fixed it this morning. I shit you not. I grabbed the holy water from the Vatican City. I made the sign of the cross. I woke up like, today is the day we're fixing it. We troubleshooted so many different things. It came down to one tiny little hidden setting. And because I knew it was affecting everything, and I have very expensive, wonderful equipment, so I knew there was a setting on his laptop. And also, so I am so grateful to my husband, but also it was ChatGPT, and you know how I hate AI. Oh, hate's a strong word. I'm skeptical, and I still hate self-serve checkouts, and I prefer to talk to people. But I always say when it's something that you can't figure out on your own, that is when ChatGPT is such a savior. So I feel like I can exhale for the first time in months. I'm not kidding. I cried. So from the solo episodes, I've still got 2 pre-recorded, but from the solo episodes this year and from New Year onwards, I'm hoping for very good quality audio for all of the episodes for you, because that is so, so important. I know how important that is. Believe me, it wasn't for lack of trying. So very happy day. Be happy for me. This is great. Really excited. But let's jump in. We're going to talk today about surviving and thriving in Christmas. Now, I mentioned last year that it was a quote from Glennon Doyle's podcast where it's, you know how people say it's the most wonderful time of the year. And she was like, it's just the most time of the year. It's the most emotional. It's the most expensive. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I just wanted to jump in and give you a few little tips of how I survive and thrive in Christmas, but also, you know what the crux of it comes down to? I'm just going to get my little notes up here. I feel like I'll give you my tips, but I think it's very simple. Do things that light you up. Say no to things that don't. I've been on here saying that all year, about almost 2 years, about every area of your life. Christmas is no exception. I think people sort of feel a lot of obligations at Christmas because as an adult, it's so different to when you're a kid. And I think there's a lot of pressure on you to make it magical. And I think we can all agree that it's not just mums, but women making it magical. And there's a lot of pressure on us. So yeah, I just want to give you a few tips to survive and thrive, but just lean into joy wherever you can. But yeah, I'm a huge Christmas head. I love Christmas. I'm hoping you can see my green Swarovski Christmas tree earrings today, my red dress that I plan to wear Christmas Day. It's backless and it has pockets. So I'm such a huge Christmas person, but I think I peak too early with Christmas. I have always been a September, October start getting into the Christmas spirit. And I have a tendency to, when it gets to December, sort of just get a bit over it. But I think it's because it's summer here. And by the time it's just not feeling Christmassy. It's not unheard of that I would start watching Hallmark Christmas movies in August. But I think it's because it's cold and cozy, and watching those movies sort of relates to our weather at that time. So, yeah, I've got my Christmas tree up. I put it up in the last week of November, but as you probably know, I have a 16-month-old son and my tree is fucking destroyed. Look, I think it could be worse, but he walks up to it like, just surveying what he can just damage. And, you know, I've tried, don't even come at me about putting the glass decorations on the top. I've tried putting everything breakable on the top, but I don't have a lot of shit decorations. So how much can I put on the bottom? And the kid has reach. He's getting taller every minute. So, you know, the Polar Express train is just damaged on the floor. But look, it's not, perfection is not the point of the season. It's about leaning into joy. So we'll get to that. All right. Having said that, point number 1. I hear a lot of people say, lower your expectations for Christmas. I would take that one step further and say, have no expectations of Christmas. I think you are setting yourself up for disappointment when you have an expectation or an image of how Christmas should be or how you want it to be. There's so many other people you're interacting with at Christmas, and they've got their own images as well. So my number one thing is, don't have expectations, but also maybe don't try so hard to recreate your childhood Christmas. And the reason is because it will never be as good as when you're a kid. Not just because the 90s were awesome. I mean, I guess I was 80s kid too, but I don't remember it. The 90s were awesome. But also, you didn't have a job. You didn't have bills. You didn't have to plan the menu, buy everyone gifts, I used to voluntarily wrap everyone's gifts. It was just one big party. It was fun. And I was the kind of kid that I made all the placemats and the coasters from scratch. I loved it. My mum would come in and bring everyone's gifts into my room for me to wrap because I loved it. I'm so neat at it. But I feel that people every year get that little bit of disappointment at Christmas. And I really think the main reason is because you're trying to recreate what you had as a kid and you can't. And I do love that I'm sort of getting to sort of relive it a little bit through Leo's eyes. So I think that as a parent, you get to do that a little bit, but it's not going to be what it was. So kind of just let it be what it is and just enjoy it for an occasion. I feel like that's my number one tip. And don't try and make it a Hallmark Christmas movie. And the reason, and I've touched on it, is because it's so hot here. It is so freaking hot. You've got flies coming in, you're swatting away, you're sweating. You go to bake cookies and then you're just dripping in sweat, but you thought it would be magical. And, you know, it's great in theory. We're trying to replicate these winter Christmases here, but it's not quite the same. So just lean into it. So just let it be what it is. If it means, you know, pivoting and going down to the beach and having a swim and then eating a mango and then coming back and watching Christmas movies, so be it. But don't try to recreate what you had as a kid. You'll never get that back. Enjoy this for what it is and appreciate it for what it is, and you'll have fun. Number 2, talked about it for 2 straight years, boundaries. Boundaries. If there are people making snarky comments at you, take a step back, say what you need to say. If there's certain things you don't want to go to, obligation events, you actually don't have to. You don't have to do anything. I'm not trying to be Grinch here. Go to festivities, but if there's something that you're panicking about, thinking about it, do you need to do it? Do you need to go to it? So, look, I'm not even going to harp on about it. 2 years in, you know what boundaries are, so keep your boundaries up like you've kept them up all year. You don't have to have them down just because it's the festive season. Number 3, don't go into debt to buy gifts or decorate your home. I said this last year that just because something's beautiful doesn't mean you have to own it. And I have bought zero Christmas decorations this year. I bought so many last year. I think because it was Leo's first Christmas, I got so excited. You know, I had the 2 or 3 Kmart boxes coming with all the mugs and the little headbands with the baubles on them. And I don't need anything. And also, I'm trying to be a little bit better with spending. And I was watching this vlogger, but she was making salt dough ornaments. Now, last year I stressed myself out because I don't know if I forgot or I just thought I'll get it later, and then they went my first Christmas decoration for Leo. And I felt it's so not me to not get something like that because I'm so sentimental. So I remember I had like a $10 air dry clay kit from Kmart in the house. So I got rolled it out, got a glass and made it round, and then put Leo's. I tried to do hands, but little kids don't open their hands. So I did a footprint and then wrote Leo's first Christmas in the year and painted it gold. It is my favorite decoration on the tree. It just brings up so many emotions when I look at it. I love it so much. But this girl does all these. I'm going to buy I know I said buy nothing, but I think I have some like cookie cutters, like gingerbread. And you can do little circles on the top and put photos in them. So I'm just going to make a few little things. Or I don't need anything, really. I mean, it's going to get destroyed anyway. But with gifts, you don't need to be extravagant. So buy what you need to for your very near and dear. But as you get older, I mean, my friends and I, we stopped doing gifts at Christmas years ago. Now we just sort of do immediate family because as you get married and then you have kids, like the families are getting bigger and bigger. And I said to the nephews, once you're 18 or live out of home, you're off the kids' gifts list because there's just so many family members. But I always bake my beautiful Christmas Toll House cookies every year and then wrap them up, and everyone looks forward to them. I'm telling you, don't just think I'm just saying that. They do. They love them. But it's a nice personalised gift. And I always make a really big batch and take them out to the Wayside Chapel, my favourite charity in King's Cross, and love walking around and just handing them out to everyone and having a chat. It just puts me in the biggest festive mood. I love that so much. But also, not only going into debt, because you've got to think about January and February paying all this off. And I think it's not really the reason of the season to go into debt. I think you can get very extravagant. But also think about landfill. Like years ago, you would just buy so many things and I never took a second thought. But I always think before I buy anything now, how long is someone going to use that for and where's it going to end up? So I always, like with Leo's toys, I always try and get the wooden ones. And when he's done using things, I take them to Vinnie's or give them to friends. And I have friends that give me their stuff as well. But I love experiences. I love when people give me gift vouchers, and I love giving gift vouchers to others. So like red balloon, movies, dinner vouchers. I just think you get so much use out of that, and it's not going to end up in landfill. And perhaps you can do like a Secret Santa with your family to save money and not have so many gifts. But I did one year when I was hosting, I printed out, when I printed the Christmas invitations, I also printed out a list of everything. So for every family member, a list of the things I like about them. I found it the other day on my desktop as I was doing a cleanup. It was so beautiful. I loved that so much, and I left that on everyone's plate. So you could do something like that, or, like have Post-its and pens on Christmas Day and everyone writes something nice about the person to their left or something. Or, I think it's kind of the whole point of the season, words of affirmation or just kindness. So you don't need to go into debt. It's so not the point. And number 4 is kind of in line with that. Don't be too materialistic and have expectations of what gifts people should give you. My personal opinion, you do you, but it's kind of not the point of the season. And I think people will then feel nervous when they're gift shopping for you if they feel like you have a certain dollar amount or expectations. I don't think my husband listens to my podcast anymore. I think he's too busy and listens to finance ones. But I'm going to reference my first boyfriend here. Lovely, lovely, good person, terrible boyfriend. So I'm not talking him up, but I just want to reference, I was 18, 19. And I remember the first gift he got me this was like 2002, 2003. This was a lot of money to me back then. It was a $330 box of Yves Saint Laurent makeup. And I remember that's when I first got that touchy clay. I don't know if you've used that. I used to use it on the dark circles under my eyes. Love that thing. And it was beautiful, but it was very extravagant. And I felt like he was trying to, it was one of the first gifts he got me. And then a year later, or maybe 2 years later, he bought me, to this day, it broke, but 10 years ago or something. But to this day, it is one of most cherished gifts I've ever received because I'm such a Christmas person. And this is before they had them all set up in Westfield, all the pop-ups. So I like, you didn't see them around years ago. The personalised bauble, and it was like a rich red. Back then I used to do the red, gold and green, nothing else on my tree, but because I have more of a beachy looking place now, I do the light colours. And it was a rich red with a beautiful red, green and gold tartan ribbon, and it sort of went out like it was like frozen. It was beautiful. And gold saying Steph on it. And it was in the most beautiful box. I can still feel that in my hand, like opening that up, like one of those magical moments in a Christmas film. That was the most beautiful gift. I loved that gift. I thought that was very, very special. And you know what? Why else? Because it made me feel like he knew me. And I think that's the most special thing when you really listen to your partners and they buy you something that they think you like. And my husband now is very good at remembering things that I mention and then getting them months later. So, yeah, something personalised and special, but having materialistic expectations is not the point of the season. But again, you do you. Just my little thoughts, my 2 cents. Okay, number 5, so important, so in line with this podcast, create space for yourself. So it is such a busy time. If you can, if you're a mum, I get it. If you're working full time, oh my God, I get it. But try and carve some time out for yourself, and not just like the self-care stuff that I'm always harping on about. Take yourself out. If you're feeling it too much, drop everything, get babysitters for your kids, go to the movies. I remember last year I was so overwhelmed. And I don't know why, because Leo wasn't walking then. I was on maternity leave. But I remember just something got to me that week, and I just went straight to the movies by myself to watch Wicked and had the best afternoon. I remember going out to look at Christmas lights at night and feeling rested. So I think my God, parenting's full on, and I do it 24/7, and just having that time to yourself is so beautiful. Or just go and have a good dip in the ocean. I've done it twice this week, and oh my God, I feel alive. I feel so refreshed. Number 6 is plan in advance. Now, it might be a bit late, so hopefully you can take this on board to do it next year. But I've always been a September start booking in dates with people, and some people don't want to hear it. I start thinking about menu, and I definitely have always been a type of person. Years ago, I used to have all Christmas presents bought and wrapped by September or October. But I will put things on my wish list. I'm a big shopper on the Iconic, and I've always gotten clothes for my husband, for my son, and for myself, and wish list things. And then when they go on sale, I might get them on Afterpay and just pay them off bit by bit. But plan in advance, because when it gets to December, it's such an expensive time for food and outings alone. You don't want to add gifts on top of it too. So see what you can plan in advance. Honestly, it's the main reason to save your sanity is doing that, because it's just going to get too overwhelming. And also, I probably should have mentioned this in the cutting costs too, but if you're doing get-togethers with a big group of friends, see if you can I always do outdoor picnics if it's big groups of friends and lots of kiddos, and get everyone to bring a plate. It's honestly, my friends love it now. We look forward to it every year. I started this a few years ago, and they just love it, and it's such a great day. And it's just, no one has to do the cleanup. We've got the paper plates, the bamboo cutlery. Do the bring a plate. It's awesome. Number 7, be present. When it comes to the festivities, take your phone out to take your photos. Post them when you get home, or post them when it comes to Christmas, post them Boxing Day, or post them late at night. But if you're on your phone constantly, you're not feeling present. And leading into it, so from now onwards, minimize social media, because you're going to be seeing some very, very beautiful, curated, perfect looking Christmases. And sometimes when you're hot and you're sweaty and you're tired and your kids have been kicking you in the back and you haven't slept, and you might feel like shit about yourself. So maybe minimize, just minimize. Don't compare, easier said than done. But the only thing I can say is just fuck perfection, lean into joy. This is a very magical, special time of year. So don't worry about being perfect. Lean into joy. Number 8 is, when it comes to get-togethers, play games. Remember years ago when everyone would pull out the board games and the Pictionary that Mum and I would always cheat at, even though we were really good at it anyway. We didn't need to. Games are so much fun. And even if you don't want to bring physical games, my husband has charades on his phone where everyone holds it and plays it. Oh my God, every year we have so much fun, but I'm so competitive. It starts fun and I don't know why. I don't know why. But no, it's so much fun. I love it. Number 9 is super important. delegate some of the chores and responsibilities. So as I said, women are responsible for creating the magic. It's not our job, but we seem to just take it on ourselves, or people expect us to. Delegate this. Like last week I put the Christmas tree up and I said to Alan, you're doing the lights on the balcony. Those lights sat in a ball on the floor for 3 days and I was snagging him every day. He works really hard. We'll use that as an excuse. But don't take it all on yourself. If you've got kids that can do some cleaning, partners, family members that can grab certain things at the shops, delegate. Put it in your family group chat. Do what you need to do. And to that point, I'm sure you see this every year, but male reindeer shed their antlers in the winter, which means that Santa's reindeer are all female. Of course they are. Number 10, have compassion for people doing it tough. Oh, festive holidays, festive season, it really brings up emotion. So if someone's grieving, if someone's lonely, it's so hard. It's so hard. Say someone's gone through a breakup. This is a really tough time of year. So think, who do I know who's going through something like that? And see if you can reach out, see if you can include them in some more festivities, even if it's going around and looking at Christmas lights or something, or just catching up for a coffee. So the best time of year to think about others, in my opinion. And to that point, number 11 is the reason for the season. Can you give to charity? Every year I love giving to the Wayside Chapel. They have, I think it's now $27 a plate. You donate a plate. So by giving $27 pays for one person to have lunch on Christmas Day. So they look after the homeless community. They're based in King's Cross. Do we call it King's Cross anymore? What's it called? Potts Point? And I always have family stuff, but one year I'd really love to go to their street party. And it looks so magical and wonderful. But that will pay for one person to have a beautiful meal on Christmas Day. And you couldn't imagine anyone who deserves it more. They're just doing it so tough. So that would make them feel so seen and so loved on Christmas. And I love World Vision because they really make it feel like you're online shopping for gifts, where you can go on and buy at different price ranges, different things like chickens or a goat for the community, or plants or seeds to plant, or fresh drinking water or immunisation for babies. And it's all different price ranges. So I like to give to them every year. And as I said, I bake my cookies and take them in for the Wayside Chapel. And every week when I shop from October onwards, when they start bringing the Christmas cakes out, I buy one thing every week, put it away in a big bag in the laundry, and then have a whole bunch of food I go and take in with the cookies. But the 1 year I didn't go was when I was pregnant with so much morning sickness. So I think I donated more money. But if you're ever tight with money, see if you can pull in people to do it. When I worked at the Beauty Chef, it would have been last year, I was on maternity leave, it would have been the year before. And I got everyone to chip in, and we ended up having over $1,000, and we did it 3 ways. We did some to the Children's Hospital, and we also collected toys, and I took them in to the hospital, and then a third to the Wayside Chapel and a third to World Vision. So it's like giving gives you that helper's high where you feel wonderful, you do something kind for someone else. It's the reason for the season. And look, I might be Catholic, but it's sort of turned into that holiday where it's just everyone getting together, being kind to each other. It doesn't have to be about that if that's not your religious persuasion. So let's try and just make it a time. There's horrible people running countries around the world. Let's make this a time when we're really mindful of thinking about each other and doing something for others. It's the best time of year to do that. 12, do magical things. As I said, it feels like it's not as magical as it was when I was a kid. So what can you do that gives you that little thing? And going around and looking at Christmas lights. Every year I go into the city, go to St Mary's Cathedral where they do that lights display at the front. Look at the big tree at Martin Place. Or even just like a day of like shopping around the city. My mum always took me and my brother and I, into the city on the train when we were little kids. And if you're an 80s or a 90s baby, you might remember that they always had the wooden toy soldiers, was David Jones's thing. I remember always seeing them, and the Santa photo had that on there, and I think we had a toy from there. But David Jones used to be so magical with their window displays. They're not quite what they were, but it just puts you in the feels. I really love doing that. And maybe you can do some, like the sugar cookies where you decorate them. I never do that. I always bake my Toll House cookies. I'm doing that this year. I bought the icing and lots of cool sprinkles. When Aldi has those middle rows of all that random crap. Got some good stuff from there. And watching Christmas movies. I love watching Christmas. I love when certain social media pages will come up with like a calendar of each night you'll watch a different movie. I love doing that. And look up your local council. They'll do great Christmas. I love going to Christmas carols, but they also do like open air cinema things. They're doing one with the Grinch this year somewhere around here that I want to take Leo to. So that should be fun. And the last one, my friends, is log off from work. I'm sorry if you have to work over Christmas. That is just very Grinchy of your boss. That's a horrible thing to do. But if you're done and you've got the out of office on, shut the computer, remove the emails from your phone, really log off. And my friends, when you'll be hearing this, it'll be what, December 2nd? Now is the time to start using that beautiful phrase, let's circle back to this in January. And I tell you what, the person on the other end will be delighted that you've said it because they don't want to deal with it now either. So log off, be present, enjoy the holiday. What I want to leave you with saying is, I know I sort of sounded a little bit Grinchy in some of those, like it's not as magical as when you were a kid, but let me tell you this. No matter how old I get, and the grey hairs have I can see one. The grey hairs have started coming in this year. I had a good run. No matter how old I get, when I lay my head down on Christmas Eve, every single year I look out the window and look to see Santa landing on the rooftops. And I know people in my life that will laugh at that. I don't care. They know I'm weird. But I tell you what, not only do I believe in magic, but I expect to see magic. And because of that, it always shows up in my life. I will leave you with that. Take from that what you will. But I just think when you look for the good, look for the magic in any way, shape or form, it'll find you. My wish for you is a very healthy, happy, Merry Christmas with your family, whatever festivities, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and your friends. I hope you're present. I hope you have a wonderful time with yourself and take some time to fill up your cup. I really hope that the magic finds you for Christmas and into the new year. Merry Christmas, my friends. I'm so grateful for you all. And I'll speak to you one-on-one again on the 30th of December.